Monstercast is starting right now. This live will be entirely in English, but I'm going to give a quick message in Portuguese. Pessoal, essa live vai ser completamente em inglês. Na descrição aqui do vídeo tem o link para a live dublada, tá? Vai ter uma outra live com tradução simultânea. Então quem quer ver em português vai ter outro link. E se você tá vendo a live em português, na descrição vai ter o link para essa live aqui que está em inglês, tá? Então são dois links diferentes no mesmo canal. Prestem atenção com isso. Hoje vai ter sorteio, Gordex, Kit Insider, Kit Growth, Kit Garimpo, 2 kits do Zambrota e do Leandro Twin. Não vamos ler o superchat, tá, Gordex? Mas aí no final vou pedir para ele escolher os números, a gente nomeia os vencedores do sorteio e eles participam. Fechou?
Combinado?
Certo.
Tudo certo.
Pessoal, o bebezinho entende,
Não
né?
se preocupe comigo, a gente já deixou umas perguntas pré-selecionadas aí pro Dorian, tá bom? Pra ficar mais dinâmico, entendeu? Também não vou gastar o tempo dele.
And first, Dorian, I just can't, you know, it's hard to put in words. What an honor is to talk to you in
My
person.
pleasure. Thanks for having me on, guys.
It's truly an honor. It's I posted in my Instagram. It's hard. It's like a movie goes through the head. Like growing up watching you and you being here is, it's insane. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Life is interesting.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Hard work never failures, right?
No, man, you never know what can happen in life. It's just full of possibilities. Only you have to believe in them. That's the main thing, yeah.
So just let you know, it's a dream.
Everything's possible.
It's a dream coming true here today. Thank you so much, Dorian. And Dorian, before we start officially, I have a present from one of our sponsors. It's a T-shirt.
All right, man.
It's all black. I mean, it doesn't have logos, but the material is so different.
Cool.
You
know what? You have very good materials in Brazil for clothing.
So
it's
tropical country.
Cool.
It's good for. I'm not sure you're used to hot temperatures like.
No, I live in Spain. I don't live in England
it's
anymore.
true.
So,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, live in pretty much the same climate as middle Brazil, I guess.
Yeah,
we have a good
pretty
weather.
Close, right?
It's the best weather in Europe, anyway.
Which city in Spain?
I live in Marbella. It's on Costa del Sol, so south coast of Spain. We literally live across the sea, 25 miles from Morocco, and Gibraltar. We can see Gibraltar and everything. So, yeah, it's a beautiful spot. I mean, Brazil is beautiful as well. So, it's a compromise between Gal, who's Brazilian, and me, I'm English. So, Spain is like meet in the middle somewhere.
Dorian, before we start talking about your Olympias and everything, we always say that people that are very well successful, they have a pretty interesting start, right? What made Dorian Yates start lifting? What was this? What motivated you?
Well, I think your childhood is like very impacting on your future and how you react.
Yeah.
But this is the start, your childhood. So what made me or what gave me the qualities that was helpful for me in bodybuilding, I would say that came from the childhood. First of all, very active childhood. I lived on a small farm and we had horses, so I learned to horse ride, and everywhere you go on your bike or you walk or you run, and so very physical, different from kids today. So
yes.
I was a strong kid because of this activity. And then something that I can analyze myself had a huge impact on me was my father died when I was 13. So this is like a trauma, and I think this motivated me to do, deep down it motivated me to do something different with my life. And maybe if my life was very comfortable, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, you know, I did a seminar today, a talk, and I do a lot of talks. So one question I'm asked a lot is, like, what are your regrets? What would you change if you went back? And I say from my perspective now, I wouldn't change anything. The things that happened at the time, which appeared to be very negative, and you wouldn't want them. You wish they wouldn't happen at the time. Later on, you can analyze that it serves some purpose. So normally, the bad things that happen to you, when you look back, they're the most valuable.
Yeah.
Because these are the things that drop in your life like a bomb and create some opportunity for change. Because when we're comfortable, we don't normally change, right? Why are we going to change? We're comfortable. So the things that happened in my life, which was maybe negative or traumatic or whatever, I see they all serve the purpose.
It all depends on how you react for
Exactly
them,
that.
right? You
Shall
can
I tell
react
you
for
a story?
good or for bad, right?
I'll tell you a story about 2 children. So their father was an alcoholic. So the first guy, he grows up, he's an alcoholic. So they say to him, why do you think you're an alcoholic? He said, because my father was an alcoholic. Okay. They asked the second son, he's very happy in life, he's very successful, everything's going well with him. Why are you so successful? Because my father was an alcoholic.
Nice. Perfect example.
Yes.
It all depends on how you
It
react.
depends
for
how you react to it, you know. But normally when things are traumatic, is somewhere there's an opportunity for growth and change, and maybe that's what you need at that point. So you can let something destroy you, or you can let it build you. Exactly the same thing.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
And when this happened, what was your mindset with the gym? Like, why go to the gym?
I was not going to the gym at that point. I didn't even know the gym really exists at that point. The first kind of thing I did, which was a bit like the gym, I suppose, was I was idolizing Bruce Lee, as many people in the early 70s, mid 70s. I had the Bruce Lee posters on the wall, and Bruce Lee had a physique. Okay, it's not like the bodybuilding physique now, but he had a physique back then, and he was ripped and he had abs, and everyone wanted to look like that. So I was doing karate lessons, and I was doing the push-ups and the squats and the sit-ups, and eventually it occurred to me that I enjoyed that part of it more, the physical hard work, more than the learning the techniques. And eventually then through that I was introduced to weights. When I was around 16, I started doing some weights. But my life didn't follow a path where I could follow it at this point. I was very interested in it, and I had some magazines and stuff like that. But, you know, life happened, and I wasn't able to devote myself to it at that point. And when I was 18, I got into some trouble. Minor things, really, but anyway, I ended up in what's called in England a youth detention center. Yes. So it's like a jail, but for 16 to 21 years old, and it's a very physical regime, like in the military. You have to do exercise, you have to do marching, you have to make your bed. Try to teach the guys discipline. That was the idea behind it, and some skill in a workplace or something like that. And fortunately for me, they had weights there. And we had an officer, a physical education officer, that was a powerlifter. Nice. So he liked the weights.
Yeah.
And he saw that I was stronger than the other guys, and I already had like a good-looking physique and everything like this. And I was introduced to the weights, and I did everything properly. So this gave me some kind of respect in this place, from the other guys and from the officers. Everybody treated me as if I was a bit different.
They respected you, right?
Yeah, they respected me, and I realized this is something that I naturally could be good at. Because look, there's 300 here. I'm the best, and I love this.
Yeah,
I like this. I like the challenge of doing this, and I like the idea of using this to change my life and to do it in a way that was unique and individual, my way. It was not the way which I was being told to do this by the teachers, by the system, by anybody. It's something totally out of the ordinary. And So when I had the opportunity to start doing it properly, it was not a casual thing. It was not like, oh, I go to the gym and I start training and I started to get interest. No, I was already interested and I already knew that this was my path, which I would follow.
Yes.
And which would change my life.
And at that point, your physique was already above average? Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's
your
some pictures
strength?
on the internet where I had been training less than a year. These are the earliest pictures of me, but a lot of people look at those pictures and say, hey, if I looked at like that after 5 years, I would be happy, yeah? So yeah, I already had a physique. And I didn't know where it's taking me, this bodybuilding, but I know it's taking me somewhere positive, and yeah, maybe I can get a job. Maybe I can get my own gym one day. This would be great.
Nice.
Then I work for myself. I don't work for anybody. But things, they progress very quickly from this point.
But Dorian, at that point, you knew what bodybuilding was? You knew what was a Mr. Olympia? You had the magazines?
I know since I was 16, and I had magazines, I had books. I was always interested in reading about it. But I said to myself, look, sometimes when I was 18 years old, I didn't have a permanent place to live. I didn't have some money for food. What's the point to go to the gym now?
Yeah.
So I knew, but in the back of my mind, one day I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it properly. And so when I did it, I already had knowledge from books, from magazines. So at those points, there's no internet, right? So if you go to the gym, normally, it probably takes you a lot of time to learn how to train properly, how often, this and that. All this information, I already had it. So I didn't waste really any time when I started.
This is very important. Right?
Yeah.
This is very important. And going out from that place, you went for Temple, or you had a couple of gyms before?
Actually, I started training in a couple of gyms. One of them was Temple, but it was still a Kung Fu club at the time, in one room, which was the big room. Then they had a little room to the side, and there they had the weights.
The main thing was Kung Fu.
The Kung Fu, but they had the weights, man, and they had, you know, the benches had all the foam is like coming out. It smelled like just sweat.
Yeah.
You know? Old gym, weights on the floors, nobody puts the weights away properly, like this type of place. So this is where I started. And this building later on became Temple Gym, became my gym, but actually where I started. So there's a lot of history in that building and that gym. So I started training there, and another gym called the Weeder Gym. So there was in Birmingham, there was one store in the center of Birmingham called the Weeder store. And of course, Weeder was the big name in bodybuilding. So it sold all the supplements and magazines, and you could buy the VHS of the Mr. Olympia and all this stuff. So wow, it's the center for everyone to go and watch the video and talk and buy products and everything. So the guy there, he opened a little gym. But you know, we had a leg extension, a leg press, a hack squat, a squat rack, bench presses, basic things.
Que funciona.
Yeah, he said what works, right?
You know,
what actually works.
people got too much now.
And
they get confused. They get confused with all the different things that's available.
So many options, right?
They have their purposes, we can say, but you got to start with basic stuff. And later on, maybe they have some benefit to use this machine or that machine, but really the start is the basic. So I had enough there to get going, and very quickly I got successful. I got to be British champion.
Wow.
Nice.
And when I was British champion, then somebody had the idea to open a gym with me, because I was British champion, but I didn't even have a car. I mean, I had no car, I had no money. I was British champion, but so what? You get a trophy like this.
Yeah, it's okay.
And you get in the magazines and you get a lot of people cheering, but actually
it doesn't pay.
There's no money, right?
Yeah.
So I was still working security on a nightclub or something like that. And then somebody offered to open a gym with me, and they would put the money and I would construct the gym and run the gym and everything like that, because I was British champion and I had a name now. So that's how the Temple Gym got started. And there were not many gyms there in the mid-80s. So I was actually earning like a good salary for a young guy then, and I got the car and everything like that. So I was earning good money with the gym. But before that, I tell people it's tough. You know, it's always tough, but it's tougher at the start because nobody believes in you at the start.
Nobody cares.
Only you, right? Nobody
Yeah.
cares. Nobody believes in you. Hey, what? You're British champion now? Oh, now they notice, but you don't get there overnight. You know, so you have to be prepared to, you know, believe in yourself, even if nobody else does. If you know what you're doing.
And you had somebody like, Dorian, you need to compete, go after this.
No, man.
Nobody? You did it by yourself?
Nobody. I left home at 16, so I didn't have any family influence. Actually, only once one family member came to a competition. When I won my first Mr. Olympia, my sister came. But apart from that, I was like away from the family, doing my own thing, making my own decisions, doing everything myself. My own diet, my own training, my own vision of there's more to life outside of this. And through reading the magazines, I see guys in California on the beach with the girls, and this world actually exists out there somewhere. This gave me imagination to think I can do things and I can live a different life from the life of the people around me. 1980s, Birmingham. Okay, if you have a job, you're lucky. And if you have a good job, it's shitty. and that's your life. You go to work, you come home, you feed your family. I say, this is it? No, this is not it for me. There's something more. So these magazines gave me a window into a different world. And look, I'm here in Brazil talking to you now. I'm traveling all around the world. I'm meeting people. I'm making money. I'm having a good time because of bodybuilding and because I believed in myself when I had nothing and nobody knew anything and nobody thought anything about this kid who's going to do anything. So I said it to myself, but not much to people, you know, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing. Because you don't need to hear their opinion. It's not important.
You saw bodybuilding as a career, actually.
That's absolutely.
A way to get money.
It was a career, but it was also a passion.
Got it.
So I loved to do it. I wanted to see where's my limit. This is always my question. Where's my limit? When I was a kid, we had this thing at school to run around the track. 11 years old. After 20 times around the track, nobody was running. I keep running till I did 45 times. And then the teacher said we have to stop because we need to go home. This was a half marathon. I never ran before. I never ran afterwards.
The mindset was always there, right?
There's just something happened to me and it was hurting me and I wanted to stop, but my pride wouldn't let me stop at some point. And then after that, I didn't feel anything. And I was like, this is easy now. I don't feel anything. So this happened to me when I was young. I didn't think anything about it at the time, but later on I said, hey, that was crazy. That thing happened when I was young.
And at that time, Dorian, how you got information? Because today is very easy. You just Google it and you have everything you need.
You could buy books. Okay, so there was books on the market. And
not many options, right?
Not many options. You got books by a few authors. You know, Weider did their books. Bob Kennedy wrote books. Arthur Jones and Nautilus people wrote books. Mike Mensa had books. All the top bodybuilders, they had some little pamphlets, but I mean, it didn't tell you anything really. 5 times 8, 4 times.
Just like training sessions.
It's just a routine with no science, no meaning behind it. So I read a lot of stuff from Arthur Jones. Because the way I think is logic, and it sounds logical to me, his explanation of how things work. Before that, there was no explanation. You do this, you do that, but why? Why do I train 6 days a week? Why do I do 26? Why? What's going on? What's the mechanics? What's the process behind this? And Arthur Jones explained that well. Not that I took everything that he said, but yeah, this makes sense. And then Mike Mensa, I read his stuff. And one thing that I got from Mike Mensa, which I always tell to everybody, you have to write everything down, what you're doing, because then only then you can analyze it. You know, if you train more frequently, or you train more volume, or you train less, or whatever the change is that you might want to make in your training, is it positive or was it negative? Well, if you don't keep a record, you can't really analyze that. So it's a question of analyzing until you come with all the answers for yourself, more or less. So I learned it, and then I bought books on nutrition, and I read about nutrition. There's no internet, there's no nutritionist. especially for bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an unknown thing. Who knows? But I enjoyed that whole thing. The whole thing was enjoyable to me because I saw bodybuilding as an individual endeavor. And that's what I really liked about it, because I felt like in my life as I was young, I was not in control.
No.
And I wanted to be in control because I thought everybody else is stupid and making mistakes. So I want to be in control. So I got in control of this and I said, I'm going to do everything, make the decision. Of course, I speak to you, I can learn something, I can learn something.
Always picking
I
brains,
can learn,
right?
but in the end, yes or no is me. I make the
your
decision. This works or this doesn't work. Tom Platz said, you can't get legs without squatting. So everybody was squatting. Everybody squatting. Nobody used the leg presses like nobody. It's for the girls only. Yeah? But I got injured squatting. So then I have a problem with the squats because it's irritating my injury. So I have to try something else. I did squats with a Smith machine. I did squats on a hack squat. And it didn't irritate my injury and my legs got bigger. So that was my answer.
Yes.
Tom Platz is correct for Tom Platz. For him,
we can't say it's wrong.
For
right?
him, the barbell squats is the best thing because of his structure.
Yeah.
And because when he squats, he's short and there's a short range and he doesn't need to lean forward and activate the glutes and the spine and everything more. So that was the answer of my analysis. I tried one thing, I tried another thing, and the other thing worked better, so I kept it.
It's nice because people call you like the bodybuilding scientist, right? Because you love to test things.
I suppose I didn't know when I was young that this is actually how scientists work. They analyze data and don't change more than one thing at a time, because if you change 3 things and there's a positive change, which one was it? You don't know. So you make one adjustment at a time. Same thing, prepping for a contest, you should write everything down every week, every change, everything. And this was how I was able to make the big change between 92 and 93. 17 pounds is 8 kilos more on a Mr. Olympia is never before.
Never saw before,
Because
First
I analyzed 92 and I have pictures every week. I said 6 weeks before the competition. I'm already in shape.
Yeah.
But I thought, if I come down more, I come down more, I come down more, I get more shredded. Okay, yes, to a degree. But once your body fat's very low, what you're going to burn now? You're going to start burning muscle. Right? So I said, next year I don't do that. So that's how I was able to make such a big change from one year to the other, because I was still learning.
Yeah. And Dorian, when the world knew who Dorian Yates was, because you were your local champion, when did the world discover you?
When did the world? So it was stages, but when you say the world,
the
world in 1990 was USA. USA is bodybuilding. Yeah, that's it, man. It's not like now. It's a totally different scene. It's international now. You have a lot of guys from Middle East, great champions from Brazil, everywhere.
At
USA. All contests are in the USA. All the industries in the USA. Weeders in the USA. Everything's there, So even though I was the best in my country, there was some mythological status about American bodybuilders. But I say, well, what is it? No, but they have better food there. They have better gyms. They have better... I said, but they have 2 arms and 2 legs.
Nice.
I don't care. I don't care.
A tough guy.
So, when I went to New York, I heard a lot of negative things. You can't be successful because you have never been in an American bodybuilding magazine. Nobody knows who you are. The judges don't know who you are. There will be 30 guys there. If they don't know you, they're not going to call you out. Blah, 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 blah. I say, fuck this, man. I don't listen to any of this. If I'm good enough, I'm good enough. And if I'm not good enough, it's the finish for me anyway. Because I said, pro bodybuilding, I'm already making a lot of sacrifices. I'm already using steroids. Shall I continue to do this? Yes, only if there's a purpose. only if I'm going to be a professional.
Yes.
Because then I can justify to myself the sacrifice and possible, we can say risks, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I said if I don't make the top 5 in my first pro show, then I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to do my gym, open gyms, continue training, but no steroids, no absolute focus all the time, because maybe there's other things I can do with my time. So, but fortunately I got second, and none of these negative things I heard mattered at all, because I was good enough. Yeah, and I got close second with Mohammed Benaziza. And you know, New York is New York.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a loud place. Everybody's loud and vocal.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I was a little bit nervous, maybe, because everybody said that in New York they shout, and if they like you, you're gonna
They
know.
like you, yeah.
If
You're
they
gonna
don't
know.
like you,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna know. So I gone out, and you know, I do my posing very aggressive.
Yes.
It's totally a different style.
The stomps, right?
Yeah, I bang
Yeah.
my foot on the floor and all this, and people's like, what? And look at the calves and what? It took about 10 minutes for people in the audience to say, what's this guy? Who is that?
Who's this guy?
It go around,
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
And then people start,
Nice.
Dorian, Dorian, Dorian. The whole crowd, Dorian.
Wow.
And although I was second and Benaziza was first, and yes, he's correct, I think he was.
Fair, it was fair.
But the one who got the publicity was me, because Wida was there, and Wida said, oh,
Who's this guy? Yeah.
this guy is something different, right?
Yeah.
And the people like him, look. So he flew me to California. I did my first shooting with the Wida magazines and got the cover shot. So then at this point was the point when there was a new guy on the scene from England. He's freaky, he's massive, he's totally shredded, and he don't never smile. He's like he's like a bad guy.
And
Ele é personagem de filme.
yeah, it's like a movie character.
Yeah,
right?
like a bad guy.
Yeah, bad guy. Yeah.
I'm not really a bad guy, but it was easier for me to adopt this persona than this bullshit smiling one. Was very difficult for me.
I love the story when you said that you're not doing no like.
Ele não faria sucesso hoje. Ele seria-
Nowadays it would be hard to make success because everybody needs to smile, needs to be active and
okay.
social. Like,
Yeah, but it was just me being genuinely me, because I cannot be anything else than me. I can't pretend to be something I'm not. And for me, competition was competition.
Yes.
It was really serious. My life is on the line here. I've been training for years for this competition, and I'm not here to be smiling.
Yeah.
I'm here to eat people. Yeah, you know, I'm here
Yeah,
to
yeah,
win,
yeah, yeah.
right? So when people ask me that question, I say, "Do you ask Mike Tyson to smile when he's in the ring?"
Yeah.
No, he's there for business, man. So
He's trying to
it's
kill
just
somebody,
the way I
right?
feel, you know.
Yeah. And this is the photo shoot where you were doing the dumbbell roll for the first.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the story that you tell. Like I'm not smiling. I'm
No,
just.
because,
I'm not lifting fake weights.
You know, Joe Wida had his way of marketing bodybuilding.
Yeah. And he was good at this.
And
Right?
obviously he was very successful
Yes,
because the
genius.
sport grow and the sport grow. But I didn't fit in this mold.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to fit in this mold. And I said, let's do something else, because I'm a fan. I'm coming from a fan. And when I see the pose thing, and with the girls on the beach and this and that,
The girls and the guys like in the cars.
it's okay, but
Yeah.
I'm not excited. If I see a guy covered with sweat and poundages on the bar, then I'm excited. So I think everybody else will feel the same as me. So let's try to do something different. I said, I don't want to wear the sunglasses. I don't want to do the bullshit. Yeah. Let me lift this dumbbell. This will be something to take a picture of.
Yeah.
He's like, but you can lift this dumbbell? I say, yeah, I can lift it, but I can't fucking smile while I'm lifting it. Yeah? I'm going to lift it. Yeah. And I'd lift it, and I said, when I get to the top, I'm not going to be holding. I'm just going to get to the top, and you get it. Yeah. And he got it. And it became very popular,
Yeah, like-
this cover,
I'm
because
gonna show the cover to people here.
the veins are coming out on the neck, the veins are coming on your head because of the pressure of lifting such a heavy weight. If you have a little weight it doesn't look the same.
Ele trouxe uma pegada mais hardcore.
Yeah, you brought like a hardcore feeling.
Hardcore,
Yeah.
blue collar, as we say
Blue collar.
in Europe. Working man. A working man's image.
Bota na tela, por favor, Alex.
And I had the conversation with Joe Weider. I said, of course, what you did is great, and
It's commercial, right?
it's commercial, and it's
yeah.
huge. I said, but do you realize most of the guys that read your magazine, the Flex magazine, the bodybuilding magazine, they're like me.
Yeah.
They come from where I come from, yeah, and they relate to this, and they relate to me because you know, they're working guys and they're working out in the cold, in the gym. They're not on the beach, yeah. So and it shows passion, it shows effort. It inspires people to, wow, look at that energy. It's energy, you know. This fake stuff with the fake weights is fake energy. People don't feel it. So
It's true.
in the end, it changed because all the photographers now, they want to do this hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody started to look hardcore in the pictures, right?
Yeah, until it got to be like the photographers were expecting to do it. Yeah, so they push the guys too much.
Got it.
I know what I can do and what I can't do. After
Yeah.
a contest, you're dehydrated and everything, so I was always like knowing. But in the end, one guy, Jean-Pierre Fuchs, he was
Yeah.
doing a
Yes.
squat with
And got him
300
down there.
kilos or something
Yeah.
crazy after a contest, and both quadriceps gone. End the career. Is the end of the career just for what? For a photo?
Yeah.
So
It doesn't make
you know,
sense, right?
had to be careful with it as well.
And Dorian, that mindset you have, I mean, you're nicknamed the Shadow. Some people think it's a little bit grumpy, I would say, or where'd this come from? Like,
The shadow.
yeah, like the mindset, the Shadow mindset, right?
Well, the mindset is Dorian. The shadow is a name.
Who gave you?
to me? It was given to me by Peter McGough. So when I went to my first contest in England, we didn't talk about it, but when I went to my first contest, it was a small one, a novice qualifier for the finals.
For the nationals, yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do. But I went to the novice contest and like everybody just freaked out. Like,
I can imagine.
who are you? Eh? And why are you here and you're not in the heavyweights? I said, because it's my first time and I don't feel ready for the heavyweights yet. I think later, you know. So they said, you're actually better than all the heavyweights we have right now. And like, I didn't, it was difficult for me to believe it, you know. I knew I was good, but this is like, wow.
You didn't know you were that good.
No, I didn't know I was that good. So from that point, I knew I can do something here with the sport.
And after this show, they were like,
Oh, after the show.
This guy
so
came from the
I
Shadow.
did this show. I got the awards and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm walking outside with my girlfriend and my friend because I want to put the trophies and everything in the car, you know.
Right.
And then I'm going to come back. But he thinks I'm leaving, so he followed me. So he was a writer for a British magazine. So he said, "Oh, I want to interview." I said, "Me? Yeah, you. I want to interview you. Yeah, get used to it." So he did an interview with me, yeah, Peter McGough. So later on, as my career progressed, Peter McGough's career as a journalist also progressed.
Nice.
So he became, in the end, running Joe Weider's magazines, which is a funny story because he started small,
With you,
I
small
started
with you.
small, and we went
Yeah.
the same time. So he's running the magazines for Joe Weider. So he was the guy that came with the name The Shadow. Why? Because I was very quiet. I didn't like to talk, yeah? I like to just train and then show the physique, and this is my talking. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just because that's how I was when I was
Yeah.
young. I didn't like to talk a lot. So he saw this guy that trained in the gym, always covered up, come to a contest, win, go home. So he's like a shadow, just
Yeah.
mysterious, you know, enigmatic, come and disappear, and we want to know more, but we don't know more. It's like that, you know. So that was not my name that I give myself, but I think it's a pretty good.
Very good.
It's pretty
one.
good,
Very,
man, yeah.
very well selected. It's very nice.
So it's mysterious, like the shadow. It
Yeah.
comes, it goes. You don't you cannot don't know too much, you know.
And Dorian, interesting point you talked is you never expose too much your physique, right? Because nowadays we have athletes like if it wasn't a rule, they wouldn't just walk with shirtless every day, and every day posting updates. And you were a guy that people barely see your physique outside stage, right?
Only if
only in the stage.
If I got paid for it. When I went to do a guest appearance,
they had to pay.
They have to pay, yeah. But the reason I didn't look at myself in the gym, I did pose, of course, but I posed at home.
Yeah.
Because in the gym, who's looking at me? The other guys in the gym, they're from Birmingham.
Yes.
I look to them amazing, of course. But maybe most of these guys never been to a Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
sure.
So they don't know exactly what they're looking at, right? So what's the point for me to every day hear, wow, you look amazing, you look amazing. I don't need this. This is no purpose to me, yeah? I need to look at myself at home and think what I need to do or what I don't need to do. And then I had like 3 or 4 people who I trusted, and I would ask them, can you come to the gym on this day? 6 weeks before Mr. Olympia, or 4 weeks before, or something like that. And I say, come and let's have a look and take some pictures and see what you think. And then I listen to these guys, you look amazing, but maybe you need to lose 3 more kilos or whatever it is. And I say, I agree. You know, because this guy has been a judge at Mr. Olympia.
He knows
this
what
guy
he's
has been British champion. He's been to watch the Mr. Olympia. So it's only showing my physique when there's a reason.
Yeah.
To assess the physique or at a contest, because my physique was not my physique. It wasn't my body which I'm saying, hey, look at my body, like on the beach or something. Maybe I do it now.
Yeah.
Hey, look at me now. I look good on the beach.
But at the
then
time
it was a project.
Yeah.
It was a sculpture. It was something I'm working on that was, in a way, is like removed from me.
Well, you think that people at gym always telling you, oh, you look amazing, you're going to beat everybody. Do you think this would affect your mindset or your working effort or something?
It wouldn't help me. That's my answer to anything. Would it help me? Good. If it's not helping me, then I don't have time for it. Why? You know, and not many people saw me at the gym anyway, because I always trained in the gym when it was closed. So maybe one guy working at the gym and 1 or 2 guys who are working out with me, they get to see the forearm and the traps. That's it.
But you didn't like wearing tank tops to train? Not even for you?
No, because it's very distracting.
Really?
I'm looking at myself now, rather than thinking about the function of the muscle and how much weight I'm going to lift and getting distracted by looking at myself. I'd rather not do it.
Mindset,
Meu, incrível.
Impressive. This is very. Give me chills to listen to this. It's a
Everybody
different
has
level
their
of
own
mindset.
mindset, you know?
Yeah.
To be in the zone of the gym, I'm sure I have some case of OCD, because for me it's a ritual to get ready for the gym. I have to have the correct clothing for the correct day, the correct shoes, like this type of thing. If I put these shoes on, it's leg day. Only leg day you can wear these shoes, yeah? So it's just to put the shoes on, just to get ready is already...
It's a ritual, right?
Woo, yeah, we know today is leg day, right? And even the music I played was certain music for leg day. We used to joke, like, listen, we can never play Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction on chest day, because we'll blow a pec, we'll tear tendons. It's only for leg day.
A battle song.
Yeah, so it's a whole, you know, mindset, and everybody has their approach with this. Like, you read about basketball players, or they have their favorite thing, what they do before they go out, or they must do this ritual, or whatever it is. It's you're putting your mind in a zone, and you know what you're going to do. You're going to go to work.
But you think it's important to have a ritual, even if it's not your ritual, but it's hard.
I think it's important to be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because let's say you're doing squats or leg press or deadlift, something like this, which is absolute, total exhaustion. But maybe you can get 1 more rep.
Yeah.
But this is between you being prepared and not being prepared. Yeah? Because if you're really prepared and you say, I'm going to just give everything to this set because I already decided before I came here that's what's fucking happening, because this is important to me. Yeah, this last rep is the rep which is going to create some stimulus in my legs to grow. If I don't do that rep, I'm a coward. I lost. I can't come back here till next week to try again to do this. This, the mindset, yeah. And just take 10 minutes before you go to the gym. Sit down, look what you did last week. This is what I did last week. What's your goal for today? Should be more than last week, yeah? Unless you're on a cycle where you're down, we're talking about if you're going all out.
Yeah.
So you have a definite goal in mind and you know what you're supposed to do when you go to the gym. And because you know what you're supposed to do and you know why you're doing it, and it's important to you, you've already decided this before you came, you're going to go through it. If it's not very important, why the hell are you going to push yourself until you feel like you're going to throw up? Why are you going to do that to yourself? There has to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
So you have to know the reason why you're going to be going to these extremes, and that's what it's about. If you want to be first over second or third, all these things make a difference.
Nice. And Dorian, what was your history in competition? Just to understand entirely, you went for the small show, then you went to the nationals. What was your?
I'll tell you exactly
to
because
the
I did do one contest in my first year of training.
Okay.
Because the guy that owned the gym at the time, he was a photographer, and he took some pictures of me. Because it's hard for you guys to realize people didn't walk around with a camera. Yeah. This is something that is quite expensive, and not everybody has a camera. And certainly they're not going to walk around with it all the time. It's a big piece of stuff, you know. So the guy who owned the gym was a photographer. He worked for the police to take the crime photos. So he had a camera and he took pictures of me. So you can see these pictures on the internet, yeah. And he said to me, "Look, I'm having a contest in a few weeks. All the gyms in Birmingham, we're going to have a Mr. Birmingham contest. Look how good you look. You should compete." In the first timer, you know, the first time. I said, "No, I'm not even diet or nothing." You say, "Yeah, but you don't eat
good enough."
Nah, I don't think so. Anyway, something happened to me. I got flu or something. I got sick for fever and all this stuff for a few days. So I lost a couple of kilos more. And I look in the mirror, I say,
It's okay.
shit, I look shredded.
You got shredded by the.
Let me go to this. Let me go to the contest. So I went, and I won that contest. And two guys, because we know who they are, right? The two guys, second and third.
Yeah.
They're using stuff. They're on steroids.
You were natural at that point.
I was not using anything at this point.
Wow.
Huh? So then the next year, I decide I'll go to the IFBB, and this is when I start to use some steroids. Before this, but very little, like 20 milligrams a day. Dynabol or Anabol, like a little bit, you know.
Your first cycle was Dynabol.
Yeah, Dynabol and then some Anabol before the contest. And that's where I went, and I got this reaction. And they said, there's a World Championships in 2 weeks in London, the World Games. We want you to be on the team for the
England.
For the British heavyweight.
British heavyweight.
I say, no, I don't want to go. I don't feel ready. And but the one guy who was talking to me, his name was Ron Davis. He was a judge at the Mr. Olympia, and he was the head of the federation, and he knew all the guys. He knew all of them. He'd been judged Mr. Olympia many times. He's telling me, no, you're really, we will need you on the team. You really are good enough and everything. So, yeah, I went to try out for the team, and I got on the team. And by the way, all the guys that was already on the team, they didn't welcome me.
Really?
No, they didn't like it. They didn't like it at all.
They saw you as a threat?
Yeah, because they've been there for years, yeah? Who's this kid that's coming along from nowhere and getting all this attention? So I felt like they was not that happy, but hey, it's not my problem. So I went to the World Games, and I got 7th place there. And it was 2 weeks after my competition, and I didn't really know how to hold the condition, so I wasn't in such good shape, okay shape, but not my best. But I got 7th place out of 13 guys, and this is a world championship. And the winner was Barry DeMay.
Yeah.
Barry DeMay went to compete in the Mr. Olympia. Matt Mendenhall, who was a great bodybuilder, he was second. So it wasn't a bad result, considering, but I was very upset. I didn't like this feeling of being not prepared properly. not mentally or physically prepared properly. And 7th place, man. What is this? I don't like this.
Yeah.
So never again will I compete in a competition without planning properly, and it doesn't matter what anyone says. But I'm not saying that the World Games was a mistake. It's good I went because it was on TV.
Oh, nice.
And because it was on TV, people saw it. And I got publicity, and I got some people calling me, hey, will you come to my contest, and we'll pay you, and we'll buy you a ticket. And
Wow.
Oh,
so
nice,
this started
nice.
from this point of the World Games in England. But of course,
Right.
it didn't happen in America until I got there in 5 years later and did the Night of Champions.
And what you on after this? What were your competitions to get to the Olympics?
So at 85, I did the World Games. 86, I did the British Championship. So at this point, you have 4 weight classes for men: lightweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. Just to show you how things changed.
A lot.
Heavyweight was over 90 kilos. This was heavyweight. Yeah?
Nice.
So I won the heavyweight championship, and I think I was only like 100 kilos maybe. So you have 4 winners, 1 from
Right.
each class, and then you have a
Overall.
overall, and only 1 person from the country can be pro in this year. So I was the heavyweight winner, but I didn't win the overall, and was very controversial. And I thought, it's because I don't speak to nobody. I don't kiss nobody's ass and all this stuff.
You weren't political.
Maybe this guy is figuratively kissing ass. I thought
Yeah.
figuratively.
But maybe.
But later on,
but
but
maybe-
later on, no, I found out later on, it was literally.
Literally. Oh my God.
Yeah. There was a female.
my God.
There was a female judge.
Oh, okay.
Female, yeah, okay. Redemption. There was a female judge being very friendly with the guy that got the OURO. But it didn't matter because I wasn't ready then to be a pro. So
Yeah.
it's okay. It doesn't matter.
It wasn't the time.
It
Right?
didn't really bother me that much. I just saw this is a bit of politics, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to get better and I'm going to go on. And so 87, I didn't compete because I opened my gym, Temple Gym, and I had a little surgery on my hip as well from the injury in the squat. 88, then I went back to the British Championship, and this time was like, shall I quote Peter McGough? This is Peter McGough's words, not mine. As soon as Dorian Yates walked out, it was very clear that all the other guys had as much chance as winning this contest as a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
Genius.
I don't know if this translates into Portuguese, but
Yeah, it's a good. We can translate it pretty well. Yeah.
so yeah, it was a very easy win. Heavyweight overall, pro card, and that was the card that I needed to compete in the USA, in New York, and Night of Champions. Yeah.
And after Night of Champions, what?
Night of Champions, I got second.
Right.
I got flown out to Weider.
This is the time you got to Gold's Gym, right?
I got to Gold's Gym. I met Weider. We did the shoots. All
Quando ele
that.
ficou em
Got the
segundo pro
publicity.
Benaziza.
Yeah.
So I got home. Yeah.
Can I ask you for a story about this part?
About
When you try to enter at Gold's Gym?
oh, this is many years later.
Oh, it's right. It's right. You,
No.
You had the banners already, right?
Gold Gym.
Yeah.
Gold's Gym in Venice and the Weider company was a
That's
big
right.
family.
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
big family. Yeah, it was very cool. But later on, Gold's Gym sold out.
Yeah.
Weider magazines sold out. And what you have is corporations that buy the businesses, and the corporations don't have no soul. They don't really know about the business.
They don't know about culture.
So then they've got people working there
Yeah.
who don't know what a dumbbell is, right? They're just people that work
Yeah.
and they take the money. So it was years later I went back to Gold's Gym and the girl didn't recognize me at the. So that was the thing with Gold's Gym.
like people, like pro athletes that train for free.
Yeah, because normally I would walk to Gold's Gym and everybody working there, hi, Dorian,
yeah.
how are you? And you come in. And I come now, it's all different, yeah? So she said to me, $20. So I said, yeah, I don't normally pay, you know? Why? Okay, so I tried to go in a low level as I can.
Yeah.
I said, because I'm a pro, IFBB pro, and we don't pay. Yeah, but how do I know you're a pro? I said, okay, there's enough now. I said, listen, turn around. Look the picture on the wall. Dorian Yates, Mr. Olympia.
That's me.
And she
This
said,
is incredible.
hold on 1 minute. I speak to my manager.
Let me call the manager.
But yeah, now it's cool.
Yeah,
now I
yeah,
don't get that.
No, I love this story. But going back, they flew you to. You made
Okay,
a
so
photo
I went
shoot.
out. I still don't make no money, man.
Yeah.
I got $7,000 from second place Night of Champions. I'm living still in a ghetto, you know,
Yes.
in Birmingham. I got noise, shit, fucking. Tom Platz calls me. They say, Dorian,
nice.
Tom Platz. I said, wow, Tom Platz. Hey, Tom, how are you? Just want to say congratulations on, you know, your success and everything. But I'm working now for the WWE, World Wrestling Federation, Vince McMahon. I say, okay. He said, and we're starting a bodybuilding federation. And you know, Vince McMahon, he has a lot of money. He has more money than we do. He's bigger than we do.
Yeah.
And they're going to make this very big. And they want you to be part of it. They like your persona. They like your look. And they want to fly you out. First class, New York. Meets and all this stuff. So I did. I went out there. I met with the McMahon organization. They showed me all around. They have their own studios. There's, you know, the merchandise for the wrestlers, little wrestling men, like everything. There's a lot of money, right, involved. And they offer me, I think it was like $150 a year. $150,000 at this point.
At that time, it's like
It's a lot of money. It's worth like maybe $500,000 now, yeah?
for sure. I would say like
And-
$600,000. Yeah.
I mean, I'm running
A
a
lot of
gym.
money.
I'm paying my bills. That's about it, right? So I said to my girlfriend, who became my wife, I said, look, you know, if I take this, we can move out of here. We can get a house and everything, you know? She said, I don't want to have this conversation. It's your decision to make.
up to you.
So, which was good, man.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you had the partner that was like, yeah, we need the money, maybe you make the wrong decision, you know? So I look at this situation and I say, bodybuilding, since 1965, is Mr. Olympia. This is the pinnacle, yeah? It has the history, it has the respect, and this is what I want. This thing with the Wrestling Federation, because I asked them when I went, I said, look, your wrestling is entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a sport. It's not a competition.
The show.
Yes,
show.
It's
you're
a
right.
show, yeah. It's
You're
a
right. I said,
it's a
okay.
theater.
So what's your intentions with bodybuilding? Is it the same thing, or is it really a competition with, you know, real judges and not a preconceived outcome, right? And they said, no, we're going to run it as a sport. But I'm looking and I'm thinking, I don't know about that. Yeah? So it was a hard decision, but I called Tom Platz and I had to tell him, like, thank you very much for your offer.
Wow.
But I think my future is Mr. Olympia in the IFBB, and there's the history there, and that's the title, and so I have to say no. But it was hard to say
yeah,
no.
hard choice, right?
It was hard to say also to Tom Platz. He was one of my heroes, you know. So
And at that time, you obviously you believed in yourself, but it wasn't certain that you would be a 6-time Mr. Olympia and you would make money out of it, right? You could have like a serious injury and
anything can happen, but you know, the way you see life and the way you think about life has a direct effect on your life. So I can't guarantee anyone's outcome, but I can tell you this: if you really focus on something and you put your heart into it, it's going to massively increase the chances of this happening. Yeah? And if you don't think it's going to happen, this is a guarantee that it won't happen.
It won't happen, right? Perfect. Agree. And then on the shows, how
Okay, so then I went Night of Champions, 91, won that. words out now. This guy's now
New
a
guy in
serious
town,
threat
yeah.
because 90 he was good and very impressive, but now is even
another
much
level.
better.
Yeah.
And shit, this is a guy that can stand next to Lee Haney. Because before nobody can stand next to
Nobody,
Lee Haney.
yeah, nobody
He's so
could.
much bigger. Okay,
Yeah.
he has great aesthetics, but end of the day he's bigger, right? Taller, bigger. Now I'm more, nearly the same weight. So that was the story. And okay, first Mr. Olympia against Lee Haney. He was practically Mr. Olympia when I started. He's now
Yeah.
7 times Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So I had to, change from this being the ideal, the hero, the guy, to be there's another guy now to compete against. At least, mostly I had to
Yeah.
convey, with all due respect.
And this show you got
Second. Close second. Well,
Yes.
very close.
I mean, you
Very
can
close.
debate whether
Very
it's close
close.
or not,
Yeah,
but
very
on the
close.
score sheets, is the closest one he had, because the first round, the symmetry round, he won this one. The second round with the 7 compulsory poses, I won that one. And then the posing, he won that one, which is correct. I
Yeah.
mean, he was much more experienced performer,
Yes.
poser, presentation on stage, everything. I was still learning, so.
Multiple champion.
But it was the first time he had been pushed.
Yes.
So, for my first Mr. Olympia, I was happy
Yeah,
enough.
it's a
Of course, I like
Very
to
good.
win.
It's a very good.
Of course, I like to win. If you're really a competitor, you like to win. Let's not
Yes.
make a mistake about that.
We were just asking about the time. We're good? We're good in time?
Yeah, man.
We're good in time?
Another 15 minutes?
Yeah,
Cool.
And
Or
do-
longer if you want.
And he never came back after this, right?
No,
For
he never
Olympia.
came back. I mean,
You think that he felt like, oh, okay, maybe I should stop right now in my...
well, I don't know what he was thinking, but if it was me, I will be thinking, what's to gain? 8 or 9? What's the
Yes.
difference?
Yeah.
He's got the record.
Yeah, the
Yes.
time he got the
And
record, right?
this guy, I beat him, but I'm on the end of my career. He's on the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue to probably get better. Where maybe I've that was his best of 8 Mr. Olympias. That year was his best. And we don't like to say it, but I know why he was at his best. Because I talked with one of the guys that trained with him. Big Italian guy, I don't know if his name was Tony, but it was a big 6'5" guy. And he said, believe me, we trained that year, and we trained heavier because we knew what we were up against. So that's good, man. Everyone makes everyone better. That's how it should be. So probably there was not much point to do another year. He just landed a big contract for 4 years, money as well. So there's always the possibility that you could lose. You don't know what's going to
Never
happen.
know,
Maybe you
right?
get injured or anything can happen, and you lose the title. For what gain? If he wins, it's 9. So I would think those were his reasons, and they were good reasons. I would have done the same thing, man.
It was a good choice at the end.
But I did have a conversation with him at one point. I said, come on, man.
Tell
One
him.
more time. He's like, forget it. I'm going fishing. I'm finished. I mean, I know now what he meant. Because once you switch off that mentality of competition, you become another person, and you can't be there
doesn't
again.
come back, right?
You don't want to be there again, man. It's too restrictive, you know?
And Dorian, something interesting is we always talk about Dorian as the first mass monster in bodybuilding. And I don't know why, but we grew up listening that you were the first guy to really understand how to manage insulin with growth hormone. Is that true?
I heard that also.
Yeah, you must have heard. I don't know why. I can't even remember the first time I heard it, right?
I'll tell you, I mean, I don't know what everyone else was doing, really. I know more when I was in England what people are doing then, yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
So I assume if these guys on the amateur level are doing this, then the pros are doing at least this, maybe more, yeah? So I use growth hormone to diet with, just a small amount to lose body fat in 91. 92 I used some in the off season. I also used it in 93. I think 92 and 93
Yes.
I made some good gains
Your big evolution.
from
Yeah,
growth
big
hormone.
evolution.
Yeah, because at first I was taking a small amount and only on a calorie restricted diet. So I didn't see any gains of size. When I used it in the off season, I got the size. But I didn't use insulin with it until Milos started using insulin
The insulin guy.
and with
Milos,
NASA. Yeah, and I guess they had a fallout or something like this. So he came to me and he said, look, I'm going to tell you about this insulin thing, what I did with NASA, so you can do it. I think it was 95 or 96. And I used it in the off season and I got a bit bigger, a bit heavier. But I realized if you use insulin when you're dieting, I used it just for 1 week, and in 1 week I can tell.
1 week.
One week I
week
can
only.
tell what's the difference. My body didn't react.
Really?
It wasn't losing the fat. So I never used insulin in the last 14 weeks before a contest. And apparently, due to some information I was reading somewhere, I can't remember where it come from, but it seems that insulin, well, obviously it makes it difficult to lose fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
But particularly in the back. So why do we see guys now who looks like they're conditioned from the front, but from the back they're full of water?
Yes.
Maybe this is it. I don't have all the answers, but maybe this is it. And this is why the guys look softer. Because I never used insulin for a contest. I used it only in the off season to try to gain more size. And did it work? Yes. But I think it's just more like water and glycogen retention. I don't think it's any more muscle. This is my honest opinion. I don't have anything to gain by
Lying out
saying
this,
anything.
right.
You know, I'm just telling my experiences. Somebody else might say, "Oh, insulin was great, and I put a lot of muscle on." For me, it was something I wouldn't do again if I did it all again, because I felt like I gained nothing from it, and I don't think it's good for your health. So what's the point? I think you put on more fat, you get fuller, but you can't get in condition.
Yes.
So you actually using the last two years, right? Competing.
96, 97, yeah.
right?
And 97, I started to get distended in the waist.
The bubble guy.
And this was not happening with growth hormone on its
Right.
own. It was happening with the insulin. And
the
my
insulin.
weight was going up, and you think, oh, great, I'm getting bigger, I'm getting heavier. But it's almost like the whole body, everything is getting bigger. So it actually doesn't look that good. You know, it doesn't look that aesthetic.
If you could like name one, what would you attribute your being the first mass monster? Like what you did different that anybody was doing if it wasn't for the insulin?
Everything. Everything. Did anybody else live like me? Did anyone else train like on blood and guts? Every day, not just when the camera's there.
Yeah.
Every day, yeah. Did all the other guys get 10 hours of sleep every day? No. Is all these things? You can't say this one thing. Oh, I took a Dynabol, and that's the secret. No, it's many things together, you know.
Yeah.
And as I say, this is how I see it. Just using anabolics, I got to about 280 pounds. I don't know in kilos. 280, yeah?
Yes.
It's around 132 kilos.
Yeah, okay.
280 libras? É 140 menos 10%. Não, é 128, 127. É 137 kilos, 130
So I
kilos.
got to like 280, yeah?
Yeah.
Sticking there, yeah? When I used growth hormone for 1 year, I went to 290. I used it the next year, nearly 300. So it was like it's like a limit. It got to a limit, and then when I took the growth hormone, it was able to go to another limit. And I thought when I add the insulin, maybe it's going to go, but not really. I just retain more water, that's what I think. And there's no way to get in my kind of condition if you use an insulin. Can't do it.
Yeah, that's
Dá
true.
pra perceber isso, o confronto dele contra o Nasser, deu pra ver isso nitidamente, né?
Yeah, he said your battle with Nasser It was clear to see that, what you're saying.
Yeah,
About
and
conditioning.
97 was my worst year for condition because I had an injury, I had a lot of problems leading, I couldn't train, it was a nightmare. So that was my worst condition. But from the back is, as you can see, totally
Yeah.
different story.
Yes.
So you think the mass monster issue was more about the training, right? The dieting,
It's about the
obviously-
training, it's about the genetics. You know, let's say my British Championship in '88 is not mass monster size,
Yeah.
but compared to the other guys, it was.
It was.
You know, and my physique always had some quality of density, which, if you speak to people who saw me live in person, it doesn't translate into pictures or even video sometimes, because it's the density of the muscle makes somebody else standing next to you, even in good condition, somehow look soft,
Right.
because they don't have the density of the muscle. Because I trained heavy, for me, very heavy, like 6 reps, 7 reps, 8 reps maximum on the upper body, on the heavy stuff. Legs maybe 10 or 12. A lot of guys train 12, 15 reps, more pump, so they get a volume look. But for instance, Flex Wheeler or Paul Dillette that I competed against,
Yeah.
they look amazing, but next to me they look soft, even if they're in shape, because the density of the muscle was different. So it's a combination of things. I think if you see a guy that trains heavy and you see him on stage, you can point to him. You can see
Yeah,
this
it has
guy.
a-
He looks powerful.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks like he can really move
Like a
some
rock.
weights. Like
Yeah,
a rock.
it's like a rock, yeah.
This is from heavy training. It's not from pumping.
You think this is the problem with the conditioning today? Because we don't see people like...
No,
The
because
bodybuilders in the 90s.
the guy that won the classic physique and the Arnold, he was
Chris?
in condition, right?
Yeah, a lot.
The girls are in condition, right?
So what's happening?
You tell me. Why can't the guys in the open bodybuilding get in shape? If a woman can get in shape with all the disadvantages that they have, they can do it. Yeah. So it's not that they can't do it; it's that they're aiming for a different look.
Yeah.
All the coaches and all the guys now, they're scared. No, he's going to get too flat. He's going to get too small.
Yes.
When you're a little bit flat, you look better because you show more separation. So let's say you go to the gym now, pose your legs in the mirror, have a good look at your legs. Now go to do 5 sets of leg press and pump your legs up. Does it show the same separation? No, because now it's all bloated and
Yeah.
full of blood. So you can't show the separation. So sometimes a little bit flat, it shows better separation. So I think it's just an ideal that people go for. When I was Mr. Olympia, I was super shredded. So everybody has to think we have to come super shredded.
Yes.
Now the guy who wins is not shredded, he's bigger and fuller, and that's what the judges say, this is the guy. So
Yes.
everybody, so we need to be bigger and fuller then. So I need to diet less. I need to not lose my fullness and my size. So it's not really anyone's fault, it's just the accepted standard. If somebody comes along this year and he's big but is shredded and he wins,
Everybody
whole
next
thing will
year-
turn around,
Right.
yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
it's up to the competitors and ultimately
The
the judges
judges.
what they want to say.
Yes.
This is the best guy. But they can only pick the best guy out of the guys on stage. So some years, the guy who won Mr. Olympia is shitty.
Was
Well, he's the
on
best
stage.
one there, though. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
not so many good guys there, maybe. So the best is going to win, hopefully.
And Joey, we are short in time. Well, before we wrap it up, I have to ask you about training because I mean, you're known for.
Yeah, I
your-
mean,
your
this is what it's
training
about,
method.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't this what it's about in the fucking first
We
place?
can't do a bodybuilding.
Go to the gym and lift weights.
Yeah, we
that's
can't-
what it was about.
We can't talk
When
about
we
what Dorian
started.
Yates without asking about training. Come on. We'd like to people to understand, like, tell a little bit more. What was Dorian Yates' training system like? What worked for you, and how you got to that system? If you could,
I guess ultimately, to keep it brief,
yeah,
it's a hybrid between the purists, let's say, of HIT, that you must only do one set and one exercise, or very, very brief. and the conventional bodybuilding training of more exercises, different angles, and all this stuff, and some isolation and some compound, and split routine is like brought the two worlds together. That's why I call it DYHIT. So it's a combination of compound exercise and isolation exercises done with the correct form to put the maximum stress on the muscle that you're trying to target. So it's not how to lift the most weight from here to here. It's how to lift that weight with the muscles that you're trying to target.
Right.
And it's try to lift that weight without momentum. So no swinging, and you're doing it with muscle power. So it's controlled, and a lot of people get the wrong idea. Oh, Dorian Yates, look at the weights he's using on the... Yeah, but look how I'm using the weight. Look how it's moving. It's moving with control, yeah? So use as much weight as you can, yes, of course. But within the confines of controlling the weight and using it properly. And using it as a tool, because in the end, that's what it is. It's a tool to put stress on the muscle to make it react. So it's... You must train intensely enough in order to have some kind of stimulus, right? You must allow enough time to recover before you go and stimulate again and for growth to take place. So there's a period of time, and that can be individual, and that can vary, especially if you're taking steroids. So I think a lot of people take steroids to make up for their ineffective training. They train too much, and normally that would not get them anywhere. But because they're taking the steroids and they can recover more quickly, they're getting a response. Yes. And even it might be possible that the stimulus level to stimulate muscle growth with a super high testosterone level might be lower than somebody that doesn't have that. Yeah. The answer to that, I don't know. There's a possibility, yeah? But for sure, the recovery is going to be different on anabolics and not on anabolics. When I was starting to train for my first contest, I was also working some nights on the bar security. Yeah. So I'm working, stuff like that, and not using anabolics. I couldn't train more than 3 days a week without not recovering properly. And I think that's general. You know,
it's hard, yeah.
If you're going in and training hard, really, you can't come in the next day. You need to be out of the gym the next day, unless you're taking stuff to recover. But my policy with all this is, yes, I'm using the stuff as well, but why not have also the most effective training? And the biggest myth about this, what I hear is, yeah, look, he only does 1 set or 2 sets because of all the stuff he's on. It's the other way around, guys. Yeah? It's the other way around. The guys on all the stuff can do all this exercise because they can recover from it. If you're not taking stuff, you can't. So you need to train hard and then rest a lot. 3 or 4 times a week maximum if you're natural. And if you're not growing, just do a little experiment. Take a week off for your body to rest and come back next week and train half. Yeah. Half of what you used to do. Just train more focus, more concentrate, more hard. And don't be tempted to do more. And go home and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I think you're probably going to be surprised. You're probably going to start growing. And isn't that why you're there? Or you're there just to bullshit and talk to your friends? Sure, it is up to you. You know? A lot of people go to the gym just for social reasons, I think, these days. Yeah. Or to show the latest, you know, the latest stuff from Gymshark.
Virou programa social.
Yeah, it's like it's part of a social life of going to the gym right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but if you're there for results, maybe that's why you're listening to me, because that's what we're talking about here. I'm not talking about entertainment, man. Like, go somewhere else to entertain yourself, you know?
Well, here we're talking about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And Dorian, would you make something different on your training sessions because you had a couple of injuries in the end of your career? Would you make something different?
Would I make something different? Yeah. I would not train with that intensity and that level of heavy weights last 6 to 8 weeks before a contest, because the purpose of training like that is to stimulate growth, but you're not going to stimulate growth if you don't have sufficient calories. So I would taper the intensity down towards the contest and not train to failure, not train past failure, not do 5 or 6 rep sets. I would train safer, because at this point you have to say, I'm just here to maintain my muscle. So I need to push, yeah, to some extent, but don't need to do force reps and no negatives or anything, because I won't recover. So my training is to maintain. My diet and my cardio is to lose fat as we're going in. So that's the difference. It's not the system was wrong, it's my application of doing this. And don't forget the condition that I was in 6 weeks before competition. It was like contest condition. So you become more vulnerable now for injuries, a little bit dehydrated, you don't have any body fat, cushioning. A lot of things, it's easy to get injured, so you have to be more careful. But, you know, I was just or 100% all the time, which did a lot for me in my life. But sometimes you have to be able to turn it down a little bit. That's the part that I didn't have to the puzzle.
Yeah,
you know?
the slow down part.
Yeah, but I can tell people now, you know, and really, when you're making the changes to your physique, I see people, I'm getting ready for a contest now, I'm going to train hard.
Yeah.
It's too fucking late now, man.
Yes.
Yeah?
You're not growing muscle right now.
No,
Right?
you're not going to build muscle now. You
Yeah.
should have done it earlier in the year. That's when you really... And this is the thing about bodybuilding, which is a shame that people don't, because they can't really appreciate bodybuilding. Because you go to a contest, and what do you see? You see a guy on a stage. There's a guy on a stage. It's not a boxing match. There's not knocking anyone out. There's nobody crossing the line. There's nobody jumping over. Wow, look at that. Because the competition was all year. The competition was every day for that guy in the gym, not with the other guy, with himself.
Yeah.
Every day in the gym, every day in the gym. And this is the real competition. So you've been all year for this one day. If you do a contest, you don't have to, but if you do, it's just one day. So the real competition is in the gym.
Right.
And the real value is in the gym. Because this, what you do in the gym and this strengthening of mind is good for everything, right? It's good for your life, it's good for your business, it's good for your relationships, it's good for your fucking country, it's good for everything, eh? To make your mind stronger and to appreciate this opportunity that you can do this. You can go to the gym and have a healthy body and you can explore its abilities and you can push it to some limit. This is amazing that we can do this and enjoy it. Enjoy the challenge. Don't. A lot of people now, they want the product.
Yes.
I want this physique with these abdominals. I want it.
Yeah. Are you willing to do what you have to do?
Even if you can get it,
Yeah.
there's no value. Because the real value was in the journey, in the process of getting it. This was the real thing that you should appreciate and enjoy. Because once you have, you know, when I was a kid, I wanted an Aston Martin. When I was older, I bought the Aston Martin. Wow, I have an Aston Martin. 2 months later, fucking Aston Martin. You know, it's the process. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
likes a good physique, but everybody don't want to do the work. But they're missing the point. The work is where the beauty is, in the work that you're able to do. So, I think this is a good point to end the
For
conversation
sure.
on. Yeah?
It's we talk a lot about this. We cannot lose the hardcore, the old school feeling about bodybuilding. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
now.
this is a real. This is the heart of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beating heart is people going to the gym, lifting weights and challenging themselves. All the other stuff, it's okay, it's nice,
That's the
but
other
that's
stuff.
don't miss the heart, you know.
Yeah. O Rodex, teve superchat aí? Teve. Manda a lista pra mim.
Inspirador, né? Inspirador.
Yeah, it's very inspiring talking to you, Dorian. We're just gonna, he's gonna send me a couple of numbers. We did, just gonna ask you to give us a couple of numbers just to hold on just a second. Deixa eu... Tô acabando agora. Manda pra mim, Rodex. Por favor. Dorian, well, everybody that's on the chat here and was on our live, we listed everybody from a number to 1 to, let me see the number, And I'm going to ask you to give me a couple of numbers so we can give our presents to our sponsors.
So they're like winners, right?
Winners, yeah. Winners
Okay.
from our sponsors' products. Just a second. Pessoal, só para explicar aí, a gente tá com tempo curto, infelizmente, né? O Dorian tinha só 1 hora, a gente estendeu aí 1 hora e meia quase. Mas ele tem outros compromissos aqui, vai ter que cumprir. Mas foi aí o que a gente deu, ele em breve vai estar em São Paulo.
Pede pra ele
né?
falar uns palavrões aí em português pra...
The curse words.
Para o pessoal.
The camera here.
Some Portuguese curse words
Yeah.
for you. Okay, I start with the easy one. Caralho. Buceta. Perereca. Xoxota.
Monstercast. The Monstercast.
Galera, quem não sabe, o Dorian é casado com uma brasileira, né? Então entende um pouquinho.
Eu adoro bundas, Brasil.
Ô, Dex, vou falar nos números aí.
É muito
No, I
resenha.
gotta say something though, guys. Listen, the best ass in the world is Brazil.
Yeah.
I've been everywhere. The best ass in Brazil. God bless the genetics.
Ô, Dex, ele vai falando os números, você coloca na ordem, tá? Insider, Growth, beleza? Dorian, a number from 1 to 28.
Well, we have to say 1 because 1 is numero uno.
It's
eh?
1, it's always in 1.
Congratulations for being number 1.
Ó, William Lopes ganhou o kit da Insider. Me chama lá no... Ó, todo mundo, tá? Me chama lá no Instagram, ed.kgh. Vou instruir vocês como pegar o prêmio. Então, William Lopes, kit da Insider. Another number, please.
Another number.
1 to 28.
Number 11, because it's magic.
Ó, kit Growth. Lucas Silveira Silva. 11. Lucas Silveira Silva. Another one, Dorian, please. Kit Garimpo, Dex.
Up to what number?
28.
28. 21.
21. Diogo Ferrari, kit da Garimpo, tá, Diogo? Chama lá no inbox, ed.kgh. Another one, please, Dorian. Give me 3 more. 3 more.
3 more. Okay, 13.
13. Lucas Conrado, Sindura, né, Gordex? Kit do Sindura, chama lá no inbox. Lucas Conrado. Another one, please.
Número 3.
3. Vizinho do doutor, já sabe, doutor, chama lá, kit do Zambrota. The last one, please.
The last one, 19.
19. Fabrício Guzmão, curso do Twin, tá? Todos esses que eu falei, pessoal, me chamem lá no inbox, ed.kgh. Vou instruir vocês aí o que precisa enviar pra retirar o prêmio. Beleza? Dorian, an honor, legendary day for us. Thank you so much. It's
De nada.
dream come true.
De nada.
And I hope we can receive you in São Paulo, in our base, in our studio.
This trip has been Belo Horizonte, Curitiba, Balneário.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping next year we'll be in Sao Paulo because
Wow.
I haven't been in Sao Paulo since 2001, 20 years or something like
Wow.
that. So, yeah, I hope to be back next year, Sao Paulo, and for sure.
Thank
come
you
on
so
down.
much, Dorian.
Thanks,
Thank you so
sir.
much.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks for support bodybuilding in Brazil, and wow, in 20 years.
Who would say, right?
Yes.
In Brazil, 20 years ago, nobody. Now is
Yes.
the most winners in the Arnold is
In
from
our
Brazil.
Brazil, yeah, we're...
Muito bom.
Muito bom. Galera, obrigado quem ficou até agora. Desculpa, o podcast foi curto, mas foi o que deu. Amanhã vai ter Monstercast de novo aqui. Vamos fazer um jeitinho aí. É
Vamos,
isso.
vamos
Dorian,
sim.
thank you so much, man.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Time to smoke some weed and eat some steak.